Mr. Speaker, I rise for the point of a personal privilege.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And ladies and gentlemen of the House, we're past halfway through the session. I thought it was important to stand up, just take a few moments to look at what we did and what we didn't do. Mr. Speaker, during the last election cycle, energy reliability and affordability were widely acknowledged as bipartisan concerns. Members of leadership in the majority even signaled that changes to our energy policy, including the Virginia Clean Economy Act, were likely necessary. There were promises of affordability and reliability. Well, now we're past the election and past crossover, and no meaningful reform has been enacted that will significantly lower electric bills or address growing reliability concerns. But yes, we passed a few measures that kind of work around the edges, and some of that I supported, but we should not ignore the larger reality. We are on a collision course when it comes to electric affordability and reliability. Commissioners from PJM Interconnection recently and have continually been warning us that the grid is in serious danger of not having enough generation to meet demand. As the top importer in the PJM territory, we have a responsibility to do our part to address this looming crisis. Now, this session, we advanced additional battery storage requirement, including long-duration storage technology, but that's just not grid scale, and it's certainly not affordable. Mr. Speaker, I'm not anti-battery, but batteries have limits. During peak winter demand, when dispatchable sources are already running at full capacity, and wind and solar output is extremely low or non-existent, there's nothing left to store. We cannot substitute storage for generation. Now, both sides say they support an all-the-above strategy, and I'm glad to see the other side finally acknowledge nuclear as part of that conversation. But, Mr. Speaker, natural gas must remain part of the mix also for the foreseeable future. A little fact that we need to remember: we've seen well over 40% reductions in Virginia's carbon emissions the last 15 years or so, precisely because of increased natural gas generation. Yet these concerns remain. Mr. Speaker, this year, that's why I introduced legislation to pause the escalating mandates of the Virginia Clean Economy Act, not repeal them, but to pause them, to give our utilities time to plan and develop our grid in a thoughtful and cost-conscious way. Other members offered proposals to create relief valves if consumer cost spikes or reliability is threatened. None of those bills received a hearing. Now, looking at costs alone, the record this session is troubling. We've chosen to rejoin the regional greenhouse gas initiative. Amounts to a pass-through tax on ratepayers, expanding battery requirements on our utilities estimated to cost billions. Costs of an expanded weatherization program and percentage of income program will ultimately be borne by existing ratepayers, despite some initial assurances that falsely indicated otherwise. If we stay on this path, rates will continue to rise, and the risk of regular brownouts and blackouts will grow. But I suspect in about 16, 18 months, we'll suddenly start seeing renewed interest in reforming the very policies that are driving these outcomes. Mr. Speaker, the Virginia Clean Economy Act ship is taking on water, and instead of patching the holes, we're rearranging the deck chairs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.